Today we're going to learn how to read and write Roman numerals. Roman numerals are part of a different system of numbers. Currently, when we write numbers such as 1, 5, 8, and 7, those numbers are considered part of the Arabic number system. To read and write Roman numerals, we have a set of rules. Now, if you look at the rules online, you might see that different rules might apply, and that's because they've added rules to be able to write bigger numbers. The rules that I'm showing you right now actually will allow you to write numbers all the way to 3,999, but they added some rules, and now you're going to be able to write numbers that are bigger than that. Okay, so first we use letters to write numbers, and these are the basic letters that you see here. So we're going to start with the letter I, and the letter I stands for 1. Then we have the letter V, that will be 5. A letter X is 10. Letter L is 50. Letter C is 100. Letter D is 500. And the letter M is 1000. Now let's take a look at some of the rules when we write Roman numerals. First, we want to make sure that we arrange and write the letters from greatest to least. Also, if you write a small numeral or a letter that means a small number after a big letter or a big number, that means that we're going to add those two letters. But if you write that letter in front or before a letter that has a bigger value, then that means that you're going to subtract. And we're going to see an example of that later. Also, you're not allowed to write more than 3 letters in a row, and then only the powers of 10 are repeated. So when we say powers of 10, we're referring to the letter I, which is 1, X, which is 10, C, which is 100, and then the letter M, which means 1000. Let's take a look at now how we can write those numbers all the way from 1 through 20. As we know, the letter I is going to be 1, so the number 1 is going to be represented by a letter I. Number 2, that means that we're going to have 2 I's, so that's 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then the number 3 will follow the same pattern. That will be 1, 2, and 3. Now, when we get to number 4, you would think that we would do 4 I's in a row. But if you look at the rule number 4 here, you're not going to write more than 3 numbers in a row. So how are we going to write the number 4? Well, we're going to have to write a smaller number in front of a bigger number so we can subtract. So that means that we're going to do I and then V. Since the I is 1 and the V is 5 and the I is in front of the V, we're going to subtract 1 from 5, and that's how you make 4. For number 5 will be a V. For number 6, we're going to do addition, so that will be 5 plus I. Then when we get to number 7, it will be V, I, or 5 plus 1 plus 1, which is 7. 8 will follow the same pattern, V, I plus I plus I. And then when we get to 9, again, we cannot repeat more than 3 letters, so we have to subtract again. We're going to take away 1 from 10. So that means that we're going to place a smaller number in front of a bigger letter or a bigger number, which is the X. So that's 1 taken away from 10, which would be 9. The X means 10. For 11, we're going to do 10 plus 1, or X plus I, or XI. Then we get to 12, which would be 10 plus 1 plus 1, or XII. 13 would be XIII. When we get to 14, again, if you notice, we see a pattern when we get to the 4s or when we get to the 9s, we have to do some subtraction. So we're going to do 10, and then we need to write a 4. So that will be 1 subtracted from 5. That will be IV. 15 will be 10 plus 5, or XV. 16 will be XVI. 17 will be adding one more than that, so it will be XVI. 18 XVI. 19 will be X. We want to take away 1 from the next 10, so it will be XIX. So that's 10, and then 1 subtracted from 10, that will be 9, so that's 10 here, and then the 9 on the I and the X. And then for 20 will be XX. All right, so now let's see if we can practice a little bit writing these Roman numerals. So for 24, we know that we need 20 here. So to get 20, and feel free to pause the video if you want to go through all of them first by yourself, and then hit play again when you're ready to check for them. So for 24, we're going to do X, which is 20. And then the 4, we know that I cannot write 4 I's because we cannot write more than 3 in a row. So I need to take away 1 from 5. That will be XXIV. 31, it will be 10 plus 10 plus 10. And then I for 30 for the 1. 48, we have to be careful here. We cannot write 4 X's in a row. So we're going to take away 10 from 50 to make 40. So that will be XL. And then for the 48, I'm going to write that as V for 5, and then I'm going to add 3 more. So 40, 5, 6, 7, 8. 56 will be, for the 50 will be L. And then for the 6 will be 5 and 1 more. That will be 56. 60, that will be 50 plus 10, or LX. 75, I'm going to first do the 70, so that will be LXX, that's 70. And then for the 5 in the ones place will be V. 83, it will be 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, that's 80. And then 1, 2, 3 for the 3 in the ones place. 90, we cannot do L and then 4 X's, so we're going to have to take away 10 from 100. So that means I'm going to place a 10 in front of the 100 to make 90. And then 1, 2. For 66, we already know how to write 60, so I'm going to start with 60 here. And then to write 6, it will be VI. 99, this is how we write 90, XC. And then we know from our previous page that to write 9, it will be IX, or 1 subtracted away from 10. 104. Well, we have a letter for 100, so we're going to use the C. And then to write the 4, we cannot write 4 I's in a row, so we're going to take away 1 from the 5, which is IV. 112, so 100 plus 10 plus 2 makes 112. 100, to make 40, we know that 40, it will be XL, 10 away from the, taken away from 50, so it'll be XL. And then for the 1, I. And then 164 will be 100. We know that 60 will be LX. And then for the 4, we know that we're going to take away 1 from 5. So this is going from Arabic numbers to Roman numerals. Now let's try and do the same, but now we're going to go from Roman numerals to Arabic numbers. The way I like to do this is that I like to write the value of each of the letters on top first. So that will be X is 10, 10, 1, 10. And the reason why I do that is because I like to see when I have a letter that is less value in front of a letter that is a greater value. That means that I'm going to subtract. Like here, I know that that 1 is before the 10, so I'm going to have to subtract those 2. So that will be 10, 20. And then I'm going to take away 1 from 10. That makes it 29. I have here 10, 10, 10, and then 1, 1, 1. They go in order, so we're going to add them all. So that's 10, 20, 30. And then 3 more, 33. XL, that's 10 and that's 50. The 10 is less and is in front of the 50, so I'm going to take away 10 from 50, so that makes it 40. Here I have 10, 50, 5, and 1. Again, we're going to subtract. There's 1 of lesser value in front, so that will be 40. And then I have 5 plus 1, which is 46. Here I have 50, 5, 1, and 1. They're in order, so we can add all of them. So that's 50 plus 5 plus 1 plus 1. That's 57. Here I have 50, 10, 10, 1, and 5. Right here I see one part where we have to subtract. So 50 plus 10 plus 10. That will make it 70. And then 1 taken away from 5. That will make it, and I should have not written the 70 here. That should be 74. Here I have 50 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10, 1, 1, 1, all in order. So 50 plus 10, 60 plus 10, 70 plus 10, 80, and 3 more, 83. Here I have 50 plus 1. That's an easy one, so that will be 51. 10 for the X, 100 for the C. The 10 is in front of a smaller the smaller number, so we're going to take away 10 from 100, so that will make it 90. And then for the next one, I have 10, 100, 1, and 10. So a number that is smaller in front of a bigger one, and the same thing here. So we have to subtract twice. So 10 taken away from 100, that's 90. And then 1 taken away from 10, that will be 9. So that's 99. Here we have 100, 5, 1, 1, 1. So that's 100 plus 5 plus 3, that's 108. This is 100, 10, 1, 1, 1. So the 100 plus 10 plus 3, 113. Here we have 100, 10, 10, 5, 1, 1. They're in order from greatest to least. So 100 plus 10 plus 10, that's 20. And then 5 plus 1 plus 1, 127. And then the last one, we have 100, 10, 50, 1, 1. So here I see where we're going to have to divide. So that's 100. Take away 10 from 50. That will make it 40. And then 1 plus 1 is 2.